So you're looking to build here in Northport. So what exactly do you need to be aware of? What do you need to know? And what are some of the building times when you are looking to build a custom house here in Northport, Florida? Well, that's exactly what we are going to be breaking down today in this video. We are actually at one of my lots where we are building two lots, I should say. We're building two houses. So I want to run through estimated build times. What are some major things to be aware of when you're looking to build? Some of the planning that goes into building a house here in Northport, and much more. But before we jump straight into the video, whether you're looking to move in 9 days or 90 days, ultimately that is our team's specialty, is helping out-of-state buyers just like yourself make the move as smooth as possible from wherever you're relocating from to here in Northport. We want to make sure that you have the best experience possible. We have an entire team wrapped around this. I handle the real estate, my builder handles all the builds, and then we also have an interior designer that will design a house if you would like them to as well. So basically we're an entire team here in Northport helping you with any real estate needs that you possibly could have. So with all that being said, now let's start jumping into the video and start talking about building here in Northport. What are some of the frustrations that people are dealing with? What are the delays that we're seeing? Some estimated build times. So let's first talk about the delays we're seeing. So luckily we're kind of coming at the tail end here of COVID, and we are starting to see materials come back. There's not as many material shortages. There's a little bit less of lead times for materials. However, the one thing to note is that we are now going back into a shortage, for example, concrete, right? And the reason being is that Welland Park, which is a master plan community near Northport, where it's going to have 60,000 residents, 22,000 houses, all the major developers such as Neal Communities, MI Homes, Lennar, D.R. Horton, and all those guys, they're buying up all the concrete supply for all their houses. So now we're having a little bit of a shortage on concrete. However, it just delays the project just a little bit. It's nothing major, but that's the biggest delay we're seeing. It's about 6 to 9 weeks out now for concrete. So it's a little bit of a delay, but that's probably one of the worst ones that we're having right now. Lumber's starting to go down in price. However, typically now we just have to order lumber a little bit further out just because, once again, we're still having the lumber shortages, but it's not so bad when you are building a house and you're not on a time crunch. So those kind of cover the delay aspect of building here in Northport. So now let's talk about the estimated build times. So when you're looking to build in Northport, I would realistically say that there's about 7 steps to go into building a house. The first one is going to be purchasing the land. So the land purchase can take anywhere from 30 to 45 days. It all depends on how fast we find the land for you. It takes about 30 days to close on the land. So if we could find it in a couple days, great. If we find it in 15 days, that's fine. We're 45 days out. Second step when you're looking to build a house here in Northport is picking the right builder. So we always want to remember that cheaper is not always better, to be honest with you. Those builders here in Northport are going to cut corners. They are going to use cheaper materials. Sure, it's going to be a cheaper house for you, but it's going to feel like a cheaper house. That is the one downside. So remember, cost is not everything. Cheapest is not always the best. The second thing here about picking a builder is that the builder honestly is going to make or break your experience, your building experience. It's going to either make you have an amazing building experience or make you have like a terrible building experience. I get calls from people from my YouTube seeing me and saying, hey, no, we're building with such and such builder, and it's absolutely a nightmare. Like, we don't know what's going on. We don't know what's next. And at that point, I really can't help you guys out just because you guys are already locked in with contract with the builder and stuff like that. Otherwise, you'll lose your down deposit. So always vet your builders to make sure that they are taking care of you. And, like I mentioned before, we have the entire team here that I acquire the land, we build the houses. So we have everything for you if that's what you're looking for. But basically at the end of the day, just make sure that you're vetting your builder. The third step here when you're building in Northport is going to be, you got to apply for a brush clearing permit. So that's what we did for these lots behind me. As you can see, they are quite cleared, not the bigger trees, just the undercover brush. So once you have the lot in your name, then you can apply for a building permit. You have the building plans and everything like that. You can apply for a building permit. That typically takes around 1 to 2 weeks to get approved. Then you can have someone come out and clear all the land for you, which that takes like a day realistically to clear one lot. So it's not bad at all. Just make sure that you have enough lead time in there. You know who's going to be brush clearing and everything like that, their costs that are associated with that. But then the fourth thing when you are looking to build is also getting all the necessary surveys done. So for example, we had to get brush clearing done before we could get surveys because it was so thick in there. So you need a topo survey, you're going to need a boundary survey, and you're going to need an elevation survey. So that basically tells you how high up your house is going to need to be built up, and that's going to bring us into our next point. But make sure that you get all the necessary surveys done. You know, that could take anywhere from 1 to 2 weeks to get them done if you schedule them out when you first bought the piece of land. So just be aware of that. Make sure that you have the lead times in. Once you purchase the lot, you can schedule surveys and everything like that. Then the fifth thing that we are going to be looking at, and the fifth step when you're building here, is that your builder is going to submit and apply for the building permit. So in order to get the building permit, you need the surveys done. You're going to need what plans you plan on building with, what house you plan on putting on there, the materials you're going to be using, and all that stuff. So it's like a builder package basically, that your builder is going to put together, submit it to the city of Northport, and then they will tell you if it's going to get approved or not. That typically takes anywhere from 4 to 9 weeks realistically to get approved. It all just depends on how backed up the city of Northport is at this moment. You know, Northport is one of those cities that still has not gotten too much into the digital age, unfortunately. So they're doing a lot, you know, the traditional methods, walking in, handing them the packet of paper of everything that they need to know. So it is a little bit dated of a system. However, they're working through it, but at the meantime, we're still gonna have to work through what they are going through right now. And then now that, after you have all that completed, basically surveys and everything, then the sixth step is going to be that you will need dirt for the house pad of your property. So now here's where stuff can get a little bit interesting. So depending on what lot you chose, what the elevation of the lot is and everything like that, you know, you could only need 4 truckloads of dirt, for example, or you can need 10 truckloads of dirt, for example. So right now, dirt per truckload is around $450 to $500 per truck. So that is an added expense, but it's all built into your overall build costs here from your builder. They will also add that in, but just keep that in mind that that is going to be another expense of hauling so much dirt in. But that's why it's always important to kind of find a lot that's a little bit higher elevated, so you don't have to worry so much about bringing in all this dirt. So keep that in mind. And then the seventh and final step is basically, now that steps 1 through 6 is prepping the land, making sure it's all good to go, for example, brush clearing and all that. And now the seventh step is realistically, you are going to start building your house, right? So now people ask me, well, Noah, how long does it take to build a house? And now building a house, that's a couple different answers, I would say. So we build with a couple different materials. We build traditionally with concrete block and wood trusses, and then the other material we build with is steel. So when we build with cold frame steel, we have all the materials. We can easily get the materials. In fact, I like to say that they are a little bit stronger than concrete block and wood trusses, reason being, and they're even better. One, you know, it's not as much of a fire hazard. For example, cold frame steel or steel doesn't start on fire. Wood trusses would start on fire. Second thing is that you don't have to worry about termites as much when building with cold frame steel, just because there's nothing for them to eat. Sure, they have wood cabinets and wood trim and stuff like that, but they don't have all the studs that are in the house and also the trusses, because that's what we're building with back here. Is we're building with cold frame steel. So you guys will see that whole entire process go up, how a steel house is built. It's built the same exact way as a traditional house. It looks the exact same. We're just not using concrete block or wood trusses. So there's a lot of advantages. Plus, steel is a little bit more flexible. So in high winds or hurricanes, for example, hurricanes are going to snap wood, snap the studs, while they're just going to bend the steel and bend the metal. So that kind of protects your house a little bit, adds a little bit of protection. Now, it's not going to protect you completely from a hurricane, but it's an added additional protection, I would say, versus wood trusses and concrete block. So with all that being said, by the time we get everything rocking and rolling, by the time we have all the permits and everything like that, our build time for steel houses is around 7 months. Once we have all the materials and everything, takes us 7 months. However, if you're looking to build the more traditional route and build with wood trusses and concrete block, with all the shortages we're seeing and everything like that, and building material supply shortages, realistically you're looking at, after you have all the permits and cleared everything like that, which takes anywhere from 1 to 3 months, after that, then I would say your build time is about 11 to 12 months. So it is a little bit longer than steel, cold frame steel, but there's just different options. Not as many people, people want to build with the traditional method versus going with the steel method. So that's why we're building all these steel houses behind me, so that you guys can actually see the overall process of building with steel and see if that's something that you guys are interested in. But with all that being said, that kind of encompasses the 7 major steps when you are building a house here in Northport, and kind of the estimated build times that we're seeing currently as of July 2022. So just keep that in mind. Like I said, I'll keep you guys updated on everything that's going on here in Northport. You're going to see all the steel houses that we're going to be putting up here in the next upcoming months. So I'll be sure to, document that entire journey so you guys see the whole entire process of building with steel. But like I mentioned at the beginning of the video, we have an entire team wrapped around this whole entire real estate aspect here in Northport. I take care of the land, we build, we do everything you possibly need. We're an all-in-one company for you guys. So if you guys have any questions about acquiring land or anything like that, or building, you can reach out to me with my contact information either down in the description or up here with the phone number in the corner of my video. But once again, I appreciate you guys watching. If you guys have any questions, comments, or concerns, put them in the comment section down below. But until next time, we will see you guys all on the flip side.